Season's complete. I'm sure you'd like to be moving on right now, but you're moving on to a next season. But talk about the season that was for the Jacks.
Obviously, overall, I feel that we had a terrific season. Our goal every year is to continue to improve and do a little bit better than the season prior. There was some adversity as every team faces throughout the season, and I thought our team overall just handled things extremely well this year and really kind of grew up together as a team, and just extremely impressed and proud of the things that we did overcome and the things that we did accomplish. As much as, it was disappointing to not come out with a win against Nazarene, I thought the team just battled their tails off from beginning to end, and I was, again, just really, really proud of their competitiveness and their effort that they displayed in that game. It was unfortunate that we came up a little bit short, but like I always tell them, when you compete and you give it your all, that's all I can ask for, and we played against a very good Nazarene team.
Your starters played a lot of minutes this season. Is that something that will need to change next season?
Well, certainly we'd like to have more depth. It's not like we go into the season saying we're going to play six players, but sometimes unfortunate circumstances occur, and that's exactly what took place. We had a larger roster at the beginning of the year, and that's what took place this year. But you know what? I coach the girls that are out there that are going to be committed and they're going to be bought in. And if it's 6, if it's 8, if it's 9, you got to make the best of the hand that you're dealt with. And I think we got the absolute most out of this team this year, and I'm very proud of that.
Your thrower, Turner, name a few, coming back next season, but you have some holes to fill. What's going to be like recruiting in this off season?
Well, that's exactly, obviously, as we've done throughout the whole season, but now during this springtime, just really kind of hitting the recruiting trails hard as far as just building relationships. And we're kind of picky, so to speak, in our recruiting process as far as finding those individuals that we really feel are going to be a good fit for our program. We put great emphasis on that. It's not just talent that is going to be a good fit for us, and so we're going to be picky on that. And we have a lot of kids to sign here in the spring, and we're going to look to put the best group together as we can.
Has to help back-to-back, Division II appearances. That has to help the recruiting process.
Well, you'd like to think so. If we're coming across a young lady that where winning is not important and expectations aren't high and they don't want to be in this type of environment, then they're probably not a good fit for us. Because we certainly want individuals that, again, are talented, but we want gym rats, we want players that want to be in a winning environment, we want players that want to play in Lumberjack Arena and feel this environment. And so a lot of things come into play in this recruiting process. But again, you'd like to think that the success we've had over the last couple of years and traditionally in the program are going to carry some weight with the prospects.
If you could go into that recruiting story, I know you got some shooters coming back, but were you looking for some rebounders to give you guys some height in the paint next season?
Well, from the outside, of course, that's what everybody will think was just, the lack of maybe size we had this year, which could possibly go hand in hand with rebounding. And, to be honest with you, I don't go out on the recruiting and I don't say, okay, we got to sign 6'1", 6'2", 6'2". If that happens, that would be nice. But more importantly, it's the best basketball players, it's the best people, it's the best players that want to be, again, in this type of culture, in this type of environment. And I've always been a firm believer on you got to go with the right player and the right person. At the end of the day, they're going to get you a lot more than maybe a 6'2" kid who doesn't have all the intangible things. So certainly we go into the recruiting process with those thoughts and those objectives. But again, it's finding the best players and the best people that are going to be a good fit for us. And whenever that pans out, that's what we go with.
How tough is it to recruit, looking at women's college basketball in the West, and, it was the CC2A, Impact West, GNAC, you name it. Those conferences and the teams, all the teams, just it seems like they continue to improve and improve. All those teams fighting, for those players. How tough is it? I guess when it comes to recruiting, you have so many teams and teams that are so good that we're seeing now year after year.
Right. Well, in the recruiting process, there does become some consistencies as far as, the schools that are recruiting the same individual, and, who we're going up against as far as competing against from the recruiting trails as far as other schools, primarily, obviously, in the CC2A. But at the same time, whether it be different styles of play, whether it be different styles of coaching, whether it be different things that the coaching staff is looking for, we tend to find players that are going to be a good fit for us that might not be a good fit for somebody else. And I've kind of been known over the years, to tell you the truth, to find the diamonds in the roughs where we could coach up and really get the most out of them. And again, I don't get wrapped up in stats and who's going to look the best on paper, because that doesn't always equate out to success, and that doesn't always equate out to positive results. So there's certain individuals that we're looking for, and that's what we're going out trying to find.
This was year 3 for you. You came in late the first year, but you had the chance to bring in your players, and just the success has shown, back-to-back years. What can you say? I mean, looking back now, that you've been here 3 years now, what you've been able to accomplish, but what's next for you as you move forward?
Well, certainly, I'd be lying to say if, I'm very pleased with what we've done these first 3 years, as far as when Coach Hankins and I took over this program. And I've said many times, that first year was just kind of putting our stamp down and what we're looking for and how we want to be branded and things that, what the perception of Humboldt State women's basketball we want to be. And we've been fortunate to have success these last 2 seasons in particular. And, my thought is never to take steps backwards. So the bar is high, and the bar is very high as far as, final team results, but it's always very high on the players as individuals as well. And so those players that are returning next year from this season going to constantly have higher expectations and raise the bar, and we want that to be for our program overall. That's just got to be our mindset, not only from our program, but we want it from the department, from the community. That's what they should expect from us, and we got to produce.